All right. Hello. Looks like my microphone is working. Welcome to Unwrapped. Happy you are here today. We are talking about something very important, legal mistakes that cost you money. These are things I'm going to help you avoid on today's Unwrapped video. I'm Sari Kimbell. I'm the creator of Food Business Success, and I help you start and grow your packaged food business. So, if you make something delicious from home and you want to turn that into a food business, into a real business, I am your person. There's lots of great videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please like and comment below. I'd love to know what your product is or what your brand name is. I'll definitely go follow you on social media as well. All right. Unfortunately, I wish that starting a food business was just super easy breezy and everything went went off without a hitch. But unfortunately, I have seen clients and people that I know in this industry get themselves into a little bit of hot water legally. And it seems like we've had a few little things coming up inside Food Business Success and with our Fuel members. And just a couple of things that have come up that I'm like, we should talk about this because I definitely want to help you avoid these mistakes. And these are not the like, okay, I can figure it out. It's no big deal. Like, this isn't fun. This is the like stomach dropping. You get that letter in a FedEx envelope overnighted to you, and you open it up, and there is something from the IRS. There's something from a law firm, right? There's something from the FDA. We do not want this for you. Okay. So let's talk about the top legal mistakes that I see that get people into situations that can be very costly for them and just are no fun. This is zero fun. Okay, the first one, the first big one, and this is something you need to really consider early on in your business is trademarks. So as you choose your business name, it's really important that you are ideally that you are working with somebody, an attorney who you're running by, your final name with. I've worked with a couple of people recently that they've had their name and they've had their name for a while. And then they finally took it to a trademark attorney. And they've bought all the URLs and maybe they're even operating, right? And then they go and they're like, "Hey, just checking on this name." And it comes back that it's too close to something else. It's in the same category and it's the same name. And it's just a no-go, right? And it sucks. It stinks to have to go and change your name at that place and time when you've already done your branding and your logo and your packaging and all the URLs and the emails and the social and all that stuff, right? And the last thing that you want is to go forward with it and then get that cease and desist letter. And I have gotten that letter and it is not fun. That is the throat in your chest, dropping into your stomach kind of feeling. And I do not want anybody here to have to go through that. So, I have an amazing attorney. Um, and I'm happy to connect you. If you want me to connect you, you can DM me, Lauren Handel. She was on a podcast with me last summer, so summer of 2021. And I'll link it. I'll actually put the video link in here so you can go listen to that. But Lauren talks a lot more about trademarks, really important. I was working with a client just we've been working together and she had the logo all done, the packaging finally I was like, you got to talk to a trademark attorney. And sure enough, there was a conflict. So before we had to like stop the packaging design. And fortunately, she was able to just make a few little tweaks and we were able to get it moving. But I've known a number of people who've had to go back to the drawing board. And I will say that actually, Third Bird Collective here behind me, her kombucha, she came out with a completely different name. Like she fully launched website, packaging, labels, all that stuff. And the day she launched, she got a cease and desist because, now she's public and launched, and it conflicted with somebody else who already had that trademark. So she had to pull everything down and rebrand. And she will say that she actually loves her new name better. And she's so happy that she has it, but that was painful. So I don't want that for you. So trademarks, trademarks. The way you look up a trademark, although I do recommend that you get an attorney or maybe even work with me, I can help you kind of figure that out. But you can go to what's called a TESS database. So if you just Google TESS trademark database, you will be able to put in your name and some search terms, but it's not super intuitive and there are some nuances that's helpful. You could also you could check with your business library. Sometimes they have trademark or business attorney services that can help you understand the trademark process. I actually registered Food Business Success as a trademark. And I did it myself. I did do mine myself. It is a little tricky, but I worked with my business librarian who walked me through the whole process. So it is possible. But I love the Lauren Handel, who I work with, just because she charges a flat fee for that. Okay. So that's trademarks. The next one is not having licenses that you need, the correct licenses. So even though you may not owe sales tax because you're a packaged food for home consumption, I was just talking with a client this week who was telling me how she received a letter from the IRS. Again, another like heart dropping letter that you do not want to get about not having the right license, even though she doesn't owe the money. And so the IRS doesn't know, right? They don't know what kind of business you are. And so a lot of times you need to go ahead and get the license and then file what's called a zero tax return. Otherwise, I have had clients get nasty letters from the state or worse yet, the IRS, right? So let's not, I don't want that for you. So check into your taxes. You probably will need to get, at the very least, you'll need to get a state tax license, sales tax license. And then what you're going to do, you might need to call them and talk with them about that you are a packaged food for home consumption and file what's called a zero tax return. So at the very least, check into that. And then your city and your state, or your city and your county may also require sales tax licenses. And sometimes they even charge tax on food. And so making sure you have those correct licenses. And things are changing around the country with destination versus origin taxes if you're selling online. And I did a whole workshop. I will put the link to the workshop down below in the comments so you can grab that sales tax workshop where I really break it down in detail. The other license that I have seen people fail to get completely, and it can really get them in trouble with their state or the FDA, is not have if you have an acidified food, you need something called Better Process School certification. So it's a training and it's kind of intense. It's multiple days or many hours of videos, and there is a process that you need to be following. So if you are getting inspected, you need to have that certification. You need to be following those processes. And it's just an expense that if you are making your own pickles, for instance, that you need to have that better process certification. Okay, then labeling is a big one, right? That you're not compliant with the FDA. And I have a number of videos on labeling. I'll put some of them in this video so you can jump to them. And I also have a whole playlist on legal and licenses and labeling, all that stuff. So the biggest things are the sizing of your fonts for certain pieces, like your statement of identity or the ingredients, the nutrition facts panel. You cannot just resize that thing. You cannot make it really small. There are very specific sizes that need to be on your package depending on the size of your package. So do not, and if you're working with a designer or you're doing it yourself, do not just shrink that thing down. Unfortunately, the FDA says that your marketing does not trump the requirements, right? That you need to have that FDA approved sizing for that nutrition facts panel. Statement of identity, definitely some issues there. And that one can really nail you later. That could be a one you don't want to deal with. So you can't use fanciful terms. I mean, you can, but you have to have a very clear statement of identity. So it needs to be like exactly what it is, like pickled jalapeno peppers, right? That's what it is. And so there are certain ways that you have to label things and making sure that it is compliant with the FDA. Ingredients not listed correctly or missing allergens, that's a really big one that will really get you into trouble. A big one is claims. If you are making any kind of health claims, if you're saying low sugar or high in protein or net carbs or low in fat or anything like that, there are very specific ways that you need to do that. And many times when people say that they want to be able to do that, it's not, they can't. They're not eligible to do it. So we want to be sure that is correct and you're doing it correctly. Honestly, anytime somebody comes to me, I help get them like 95% of the way there where I'm like, I don't think you can say that. We can't do it this way. We have to do it this way. And then I recommend turning it over to my attorney that I recommend and having her do a final label review. So that is usually the process that I do with my clients anytime there is any kind of claim on there, right? We wanna be really careful. We can't just say like, um, reduces inflammation, right? We have to there's certain things that have to be on there, and sometimes we can't really say those things. Anything with the word health in it, a healthy treat, healthy snack, healthy lifestyle, healthy choices, I would just get rid of it. And here's the thing, well, let me keep oh, here's the thing with that. Yeah, just looking at my notes here. Um, the FDA does not have the money, the budgets to go after you. Like, they're not reviewing your label. Sometimes the state will wanna review your label, so that's really helpful to have all this in place. And I have a whole module inside Food Business Success that will take you through exactly how to do this and all of the things and give you the full resource guide. So super worth it because it really stinks, and this has happened, to people I know, brands I know where they get everything printed and then it's wrong, right? And it's an issue, and they have to throw everything away, and that's just you're literally throwing money away, you're burning money. So, spend a little bit of investment, make an investment up front, like working with me in Food Business Success where you can learn exactly and I will review it for you inside that program. And then you're gonna feel a lot more confident, printing those labels, and you're not gonna have somebody like me or what happens a lot of times is it's not the FDA that goes after you, it's attorneys. It's attorneys looking for quick settlements where they're looking for brands, small brands, that they can send a letter to that says, "You're out of compliance, settle this for $20,000." And I know none of you wanna get a $20,000 bill. It's gonna cost you a whole lot more to go to court, and you're probably not in compliance. So, I don't want anybody to do that, right? Spending $497 on Food Business Success is a much better investment than getting a $20,000 settlement, statement, to either go to court or settle with an attorney. So let's avoid that, please. It is worth making the investment in working with somebody like myself or with an attorney to make sure your labels are compliant. And then a couple other things are not having a food safety plan, right? You need a recall plan. If you're out of cottage food, if you're anything other than cottage food, you need to have a recall plan. It needs to have a food safety plan, which often is a HACCP plan or it's a GMP plan. And there needs to be traceability in place. I interviewed Justin Gold of Justin's Nut Butter this summer, and he had a recall, and it cost his company $1 million to complete that recall. And they did everything correctly. So imagine if you haven't been doing traceability or you don't have a good food safety plan, that would close most businesses, right? So it's really important that you're coming in and you get those things in place. Now they're going to evolve with you, right? You may not need everything at once, but I have a whole food safety module inside Food Business Success, and I give you these templates, and they are priceless, right? So you can then feel good that you have a recall template. I also have a really great food safety guy who can do one for you as well if you just want somebody else to do it for you. So, but it's really important that you are tracing your if you're using ingredients like your let's I mean his was peanuts, right? If you're using nuts in your product and those nuts get recalled because of some safety issue or hazard or, contamination, something like that, you have to be able to know exactly what product that those almonds, for instance, went into. And you have to be able to contact people and let them know so that they can pull it off of their home shelves or their retail store shelves. So it's a big deal. And I don't want you to have to deal with that after the fact because that is not fun. And then lastly, that you are not registering yourself as a business with the FDA. Brands do need to get registered and put their food facility down if you are making your own product. So making sure that you are registered with the FDA is probably the last one. All right. So those are the legal mistakes that are cost you money, and honestly, they bring down whole businesses, and I don't want that for you, and that's exactly why we have Food Business Success to really help you with that, all of these pieces, and it's worth setting aside some amount of money. If you are scaling up, if you're going beyond a farmer's market, if you're going into grocery stores, if you're doing bigger online sales, if you're going on to Amazon, these are just part of the cost of doing business to make sure you are legal and safe and you have like checked all the boxes. This is what it means to run a business. You're no longer just a hobby business, right? Just selling to friends and family or at a couple of farmers markets. You're now running a legit business that requires this level of responsibility. And so doing this ahead of time, your trademarks, making sure you have the right licenses and tax forms, uh, compliant labeling, and recall plan, food safety plan, traceability, and then being registered correctly with the FDA. All right. So that'll wrap it up for me today. I hope that was really helpful for you. I really want to help you avoid these costly mistakes and I want to help you get there faster, right? And just know here's what I got to do. Check it off. And then you can sleep easy at night, right? Knowing that you have done all these things and you're off and running. All right. If you want to come work with me inside Food Business Success, the links are below. You can get a free checklist as well for how starting your own business. So grab that checklist below, links down below. I'll put the sales tax workshop down there as well. And please like this video, subscribe to the Food Business Success channel, check out all of our other videos. They're categorized by topic. And leave a comment below. Tell me if this was helpful. Let me know what your questions are. I check these. And or let me know your business name and I'll go follow you on social media. All right. Until next time, have an amazing day.